RelativityOne. RelativityOne is the cornerstone of how we execute towards our vision as a company. A vision grounded in the transformation happening in our industry. Our vision to simplify and accelerate how the whole world conducts e-discovery by bringing the entire process and community in one open and flexible and connected platform. And every month, we advance our vision by delivering a single technology platform that can power any project, large and small, by connecting relativity to everything we can. And every month, we advance our vision by creating network effects for you. And with so many skilled professionals and organizations using the platform, we want to create an ecosystem where cross-party collaboration becomes easier. Best practices are shared. Templates and applications are freely exchanged, and innovation spreads throughout our industry. This is our vision. This is what we set out to achieve for you and this industry. And RelativityOne is the cornerstone to how we execute towards our vision. And we've been working on this product with you for some time now, and it's been quite the ride. So in the beginning of 2016, we discreetly shared our intentions to provide a SaaS version of Relativity with our partners, as we knew we would need to collaborate with them closely about the broader transformation happening in the software industry. And then in front of this community, we publicly announced our plans, and we named the product RelativityOne. And in September of 2016, we brought on our first pilot customer, and then our real-world learnings would begin. And at first, our intention was to go to market with a limited version of the product. But what you told us is that you want the full version with all of its capability and all of its scale, and you want it to be able to freely innovate on it, like you can in the on-premise environment. And so we found a way to securely and safely open up the SQL backend. We come into what is the new year, and in 2017, we sign up our first customer, Moray Global, to be our launch partner for when we officially open up for business in February. And with every month, we would learn from you and enhance the product. We would lift document limits, sign on new customers in different segments, and learn how to become a SaaS business. And it was a slow roll at first, and momentum really started to pick up when we received our ISO 27001 certification. It's really a rigorous program that certifies an organization that it has sound operations and good systems and good controls to protect its customers' data. And the scope of our program is everything that we do at Relativity. And then when we received the ISO 27001 certification, for many customers, this was like, okay, these guys are ready for business. Things would start to pick up. And soon after that, we would announce our geo in the UK. More momentum would come, and by the end of the year, we'd have 18 customers in the platform. And in the new year, we'd sign on 6 additional customers, open up in Hong Kong, and now we have over 160 terabytes of data under management. It's been quite the ride. The support our RelativityOne customers gave us in our first year of this offering, well, it's been amazing. And I'm very grateful and thankful for their trust, for their collaboration, for their support. They've worked very hard hand in hand with us to shape this offering in the first year. And I gotta tell you, the technology is really working well. We have 23 customers in the platform with multi-year subscription. On average, we have over 700 users in the platform banging away and reviewing documents. We now have over 700 million files in the platform. And the commercial momentum that we have with RelativityOne is really strong, and it's driven by the promise of RelativityOne, of what it can do for our customers. The promise of speed and scalability and throughput. What used to take days now just takes a few hours. What used to take weeks just now takes days. Jobs that you could never even think of taking, well, you know what? You take them on confidently. When you start thinking differently of things, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna take this 500 gig data set, I am just gonna process it, take a quick look at it, pull the 100 docs out of it, and I'm gonna destroy it. Because who cares, I'll just process it again. That's when we start thinking differently because we have speed and scale and throughput. This is that promise. The promise of always being on a modern platform and having the latest of what Relativity has to offer. The promise of global reach as one federated system where you can access all of it in one place, any of your workspaces, anywhere in the world, a single pane of glass, one identity. The promise of a faster innovation cycle. We've introduced this preview environment, which makes it easier for our customers to consume the upcoming, yet to be released version, giving them the time and the space to ingest new features, come up with training plans, and work with our success teams to figure out how to best incorporate our latest and greatest into their workflows. And with our sandbox environments, we are making it easier for our clients to innovate, providing a dedicated environment that will not only with the current version of the software, but with the upcoming version as well too, and really allowing our customers to freely develop and test in a safe and segmented sandbox environment, so to not to interrupt what's happening in production. Preview and sandbox. The promise of a faster innovation cycle. The promise of peace of mind, knowing that your data is secure, monitored, and you have talented security professionals behind you. And Relativity Trust is our comprehensive security program that is protecting our customers' data in RelativityOne. And I'd like to bring up our Chief Security Officer, Amanda Fennell, to the stage to talk about her vision for the program. Amanda?
Awesome. Always great to go after Andrew. Thank you guys, and thanks, Andrew. So everyone can tell that Andrew's excited, right? You can hear it in his voice. And that is actually kind of what started my journey here. He asked me to join Relativity, and it got me excited when he started talking about security, about how it's emphasized as this most important part of RelativityOne, how we treat this like a product, actually, which he might know a thing or two about, and we improve on it daily. So we started with me in January. I started in Relativity, and I used to come out of the L in Chicago downtown, if anybody's familiar with this, and I try to look around for our headquarters. And I was looking for our headquarters, and at the same time, I was looking for our team name. Who are we? What embodies our team? What really exemplifies this skill set that we're building out? So when I would come out, I would actually see this sculpture, and it's by an artist, Alexander Calder, and it is a very vibrant red. This red is like a beacon in the darkness of a whole bunch of buildings downtown. It's actually our view from the security team's office. So it's this bright, distinctive beacon in the darkness. It's able to handle anything that comes at it. And when you walk underneath it or around it, if security doesn't escort you out, it actually feels like it's protecting you. It's wrapped around everything. So it's immovable, it is not affected by the elements, and it makes you feel secure. It feels like a team name right there. We are Calder 7, and we're here to support all of Relativity, and most importantly, all of you. We accept the challenges of tomorrow's threats so you can do more with your e-discovery solution today. So most often security is responding to commodity threats, these alerts that come across, and you can't really take the time to get ahead of that. So what we do differently is what our product does, actually. So we organize data, discover the truth, and we act on it in automation if we can. And what threats do we protect against besides commodity attacks? Insider threats, malicious threats that come from within your organization. This is in the news all the time. Most recently, you would have heard probably the Uber, Google autonomous car situation, settled with a lawsuit for about 245 million USD. I would say it's about 178 million for pounds. It's a lot of money. It shows that threats are real from inside the organization. 53% of organizations already have confirmed the past 12 months that they have been hit with an insider threat. We protect our company, and importantly, Relativity, from all of that with data loss prevention, encryption, intrusion detection and prevention, log management, all correlated in a SIEM. It's all best in breed. So this is Splunk, this is Palo Alto, this is Recorded Future, this is Anomaly. These are all these things that we've vetted very heavily. Next, we have exfiltration of intellectual property. So this increased portability, accessibility, and value of corporate intellectual property makes it very tempting for advanced cyber criminals and any kind of state-sponsored espionage. And application control is pretty fundamental. So we're protecting against about somewhere, 2 trillion sensitive records have been released in the wild in the last 16 months, and we protect against that. We cull through millions of events in Relativity, and we search for anomalous behavior, geolocation alerting. We develop our own signatures, searching for activity that we as the developers know is not normal. And then we have supply chain attacks. And this one's probably pretty heavy. A lot of people don't even realize they've heard about this one, because this is Target, Sony, and Samsung were hit with CCleaner. We combat these with combining the power of Azure's security that's ingrained in the service, as well as our own cloud security team. And we have monitoring with our user behavior analytics we're building out, and additional cloud monitoring on top of that with RedLock that we wrap around our RelativityOne cloud. Cybercrime is expected to hit somewhere around $6 trillion of pain by 2021, but we're getting ahead of it by turning it into prevention with our intel-driven security. The more you know, the more you can prevent against. So how do we do it? There's 3 key elements that we're doing when we work for you. Product security, pretty big focus of ours. We've built out the team even more recently by creating the specialist team for cloud security that we mentioned, as well as the development team that gets earlier on to integrate into the development lifecycle for the software. We have a fully staffed, best-in-breed cyber division. This is near and dear to my heart, obviously, background in cyber. Investigations and analytics, threat hunters, reverse engineers, forensic specialists. This Intel team has Intel analysts with over 20 years of experience tracking adversaries in the dark web. On top of that, insider threat risk reduction teams as well. All of this just working on the attack surface, making it smaller all the time. I actually would call out and mention that the product and cyber teams are having a session, Your Secure Cloud Solution, today. I've heard it. It's insane. You should definitely attend that one. I think it might be already full. But they actually break apart the architecture of the adversary chain of attack and how we protect and break through that chain, the whole place, the whole chain, all the way. Lastly, our compliance team. Compliance team has led us through the ISO 27001, which we talked about, our second year for recertification right now, SOC 2 Type 2 this summer, GDPR obviously will be resolved within the May 25th deadline, and then we're actually looking at the Cloud Security Alliance framework this fall. This will just continue to expand. So these teams come together to form our security team, and their focus is one that you see every day as a RelativityOne customer. But why should you trust in Relativity Trust? We have the resources. Security is complex. Securing a SaaS product is a tremendous amount of effort, people, time, money, but we're solely focused on Relativity, focused around one product. We're the developers. Staying ahead of vulnerabilities and quickly addressing them requires a little bit of intuitive knowledge of the software. So as the developers of RelativityOne, we have a deep understanding of what to fix, what to monitor, full transparency into the workings of the software. We can detect and fix a security problem with a path that's direct to the development team. We're partnered with Microsoft. This is a foundation of security and privacy that they have embedded into Azure's development team. Their infrastructure meets a broad set of international industry-specific compliance standards. Same of their privacy standards. Overarching everything, this is not going to be a surprise for Relativity, advanced analytics and intelligence. So we want to be ahead of the game when it comes to analytics. And we gather millions of events that we go through to correlate with our intelligence. We call through to try to find the real threats. And we do all this to support you and to support Relativity. Our environment for year to date, 7.2 billion logs, 25,000 signatures that we're alerted on, 70 validated low-level incidents, 0 severe incidents. Those are good numbers. It all comes back to trust. The way we operate, the way we design our product, we come together in this organization and we're investing relentlessly in these processes, this technology, these resources that we're talking about to protect your data. We thank you for that. I'll turn it back to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Amanda. The promise of peace of mind knowing your data is secure, the promise of speed, scalability, and throughput, the promise of always having the latest of what Relativity has to offer, the promise of a global reach, the promise of a faster innovation cycle. We are working hard every day to give you the best extensible SaaS platform that will allow you to achieve your goals and do more.